Section 3. You will hear a conversation between a female student called Karen and her course tutor. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 27 on page 5. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 27.
Oh, Karen. Hi. Come in. Sit down. I wanted to talk to you about this assignment you've given me. I'll give it back to you with my comments, but there are several things I wanted to run over. Pointers for next time. When you hand in your next assignment, can you check that you've dealt with these?
Yeah, okay.
Now, the first thing is, your literature discussion was a bit thin, so I would actually like to see your book reports to get your complete view. So can you submit those with the next assignment? Then I can see which bits you've chosen to leave out.
Oh, yes, sorry. I didn't realize you needed them.
And I found some errors, just small ones, where you had quoted people but not recorded the information properly at the end. Don't forget to go through and make sure that your references are accurate. Your actual quotes were very relevant, but the references just need tidying up, okay?
Yes, I'll remember to check that.
Now, you make some good points, but it might be helpful if you could see if you can include a few extra examples, just to really hammer the point home. Don't start writing more paragraphs, just slot them in at the end of what you've already written. Now, the thing you have to do if you really want to get better marks is to expand the ideas you're presenting. Then your argument becomes more convincing.
Okay, fine. Can I talk to you about this presentation I've got to do?
Yes, of course.
Am I doing it next term? I can't remember what we said.
Well, the thing is, Marco couldn't do it, so you agreed to do it at the next seminar, didn't you? So how can I help?
Well, I was wondering, what do you consider to be the core part of the presentation? I mean, what should I focus on?
Good question. Well, you have very little time, really, so it's absolutely essential for you to explain the experiment. Of course, you'll have a summary in the handouts you give out, but you need to go through it carefully when you do the presentation.
And do I have to give you the abstract first, or shall I just email it to all the students?
No, I do need to see it first. We'll get some printouts done. Now, they'll need to be done by the 3rd of December, so I'll need to see it by the 26th of November, if that's okay?
Yes, fine.
Oh, and I need to talk to you about where it will be. We've had problems with the rooms, because we'll need something bigger than usual. In our faculty, the only room free is the computer room, which is far from suitable. So we'll have to go across the road and do it in the chemistry lab. They've got all the proper overhead equipment in there as well.
Okay, right. And I get a grade for this, don't I?
Yes, your first one is graded by your tutor, but this one will be assessed by the professor. But don't be worried, it'll be fine. Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 28 to 30 on page 6. Now, listen and answer questions 28 to 30. Oh, and I've sorted out my modules for next year. You asked me to tell you my choices. Yes. What have you decided?
Oh, it was really difficult to decide. I've already done the data collection one, so that wasn't really a choice. I couldn't make up my mind between language and society and communication skills. I read the syllabuses, but they sound more or less the same to me. Anyway, I went for communication skills in the end because I know the lecturer. Actually, social interaction seems to cover much the same ground, so I didn't bother with that either. I thought discourse analysis looked really interesting, and in fact, they cover a little bit of research methodology in it, so I thought I'd do that rather than the full methodology course. Kill two birds with one stone, as it were. And then I fancied something completely different, so I thought psycholinguistics would be interesting. Unless you think it'll be more worthwhile for me to do the phonology course?
No, I think you've made sensible choices. I'm glad you're organized. Okay, let's meet again in a couple of weeks to see how you're getting on.
Okay, thank you. See you then.
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers.